I have the great honor right now to introduce Mr. David Rubenstein. He has agreed to present MEI's Visionary Award and to introduce Mr. Mohammed Abdul Latif Jameel. David Rubenstein is co-founder and co-chief executive officer of the Carlyle Group. Prior to founding the firm in 1987, Mr. Rubenstein led an accomplished career both in public service and in the legal field. In the public service, he served as Deputy Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy during the Carter administration. Like Mr. Jameel, he too is recognized for his civic work. Mr. Rubenstein is chairman of the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. He is regent of the Smithsonian Institution, and he serves on the boards of Duke University, the Brookings Institution, Council on Foreign Relations, the Institute of Advanced Studies. Please welcome Mr. David Rubenstein.
Thank you very much. There's one mistake in that introduction. My career in government wasn't that distinguished. I managed to get inflation to 19% in the Carter years, and hard to do. I haven't been invited back into government since then, but thank you for saying that. I'm always waiting for the call. Since I started Carlyle in 1987, I've been to the Middle East about 100 times. And I doubt anybody whose last name is Rubenstein has been there that many times. And the reason I've been 100 times is because I really love going there. And the reason I love going there is because the hospitality I received there is better than any place else in the world by far. The culture is more interesting than any other place I've been by far. And the people are more interesting than any other people I see in the world. And so I've enjoyed going there, and I relish going there 5, 6 times a year. And as I've gone there, I've met an enormous number of interesting people. There are many people I've met who are great business leaders. I've met a lot of great cultural leaders. I've met a lot of great social entrepreneurs. I met a lot of great patrons of the arts, a lot of people who care about social concerns. But there's only one person I've met who combines everything in one person, who's a true Renaissance man, and that's Mohammed Jameel. Now, maybe there is somebody else that's a Renaissance man in the Middle East. I don't know. But in my view, Mohammed Jameel is a true Renaissance man, but not just the Middle East, but the entire world. And let me just tell you why. He has been a very successful business person, very successful. He's built one of the most successful companies in the entire region of the Middle East. And also, it's a company that's more than just the Middle East. It's a global company. And what he's done from taking a family company and making it global is truly an enormous success story in the Middle East, for which all business people in the Middle East look to and admire what he's done. But making a great company out of the company that he got from his father is not his most important accomplishment. There are a lot of people that have built very good companies, none probably quite the type of that he has done and quite the international success, but many people have built great companies around the world. What Mohammed has done more than that has shown that he wants to make the world a better place and make the Middle East a better place by devoting himself, his resources, his time, his energy, his ideas to trying to solve some problems that exist in the Middle East as they exist in the United States. And those problems include youth unemployment and the concerns about people not getting a proper education and making sure that people have a chance to build a better life for themselves. What everybody wants for themselves is a great life and a life where they have something to live for. And Mohammed is committed to making certain that people in the Middle East who will have a chance to get a better life, and to do so if they need a better job, they need a better education. He's committed enormous amounts of his resources to doing that, and he's doing that almost to the exclusion of so many other things that he could do with his life. He could take life very easily and just take life the way many people who have made a lot of money could do and not devote himself to social concerns. But Mohammed is committed to making sure that he is someone who people can say proudly they know him, they are proud to know him as a friend, they're proud that he has become a person that everybody admires in the Middle East because he's trying to do so much to give back to society. Everybody, I think, here today wants to do something to make the world a better place. Many of us don't have the opportunity to do so. Mohammed is fortunate to have the opportunity to do so, but he's taking advantage of that opportunity, and everybody here and everybody in the Middle East is very much in his debt. So I am very proud, on behalf of the Middle East Institute, to give him the Visionary Award. Mohammed, would you please come up?
Thank you, David.
Congratulations very much.
Thank you so much. Well, I cannot promise you as good a speech as David. He's very good at that. Well, good evening. And thank you, David, for a very warm introduction and very kind words. I want to begin by thanking Ambassador Chamberlain, together with the Middle East Institute, for inviting me to receive this Visionary Award this evening. I'm very honored and extremely humbled that I'm also privileged to share this podium with Dr. Hanan Ashrawi and my friend Naguib Sawiris. I would like to share with you tonight some ideas on one of the most pressing problems in the Middle East: unemployment. Let me begin by setting the scene. As you all know, the world in general and the Middle East in particular faces spiraling unemployment. 60% of our region is under the age of 30. The MENA youth unemployment rate in 2011 topped 27%. That is more than double the world average of 13%. The International Labour Office figures suggest that if unemployment is not tackled sustainably, the Middle East will have 50 million people, men and women, without work in less than a decade. They will want the dignity of work, and they will not tolerate the indignity of being out of work. That is the scale of the problem that threatens the foundation of our society. So what can we do to help? As you know, every region is different. But let me tell you about Bab Rizq Jameel, BRJ, our simple grassroots solution that works for the Arab world. Bab Rizq Jameel means beautiful gateway to prosperity in Arabic, and so it has proved. My inspiration comes from two men. My late father, Sheikh Abdul Latif Jameel, who founded our business in 1945, taught me that every CEO actually has two jobs, two responsibilities, not one. The first is to lead his business sustainably and profitably, and in harmony with all the stakeholders. The second is to help his community to help themselves in a sustainable way. Muhammad Yunus, the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, proved with his Grameen Bank that the unemployed don't actually need charity. They need a chance to make their own way. That's why I don't want to be a philanthropist, and I strive to be an effective social entrepreneur. I believe you cannot treat unemployment simply as a socio-economic problem, because no government has the resources the hard cash, to always buy its way out of the problem. In our region, neither government spending nor foreign investment generates anything like the number of jobs we need, with a few exceptions. Nor can we see them doing so in the foreseeable future. Instead, we must focus on what I call the business of unemployment, a business in which the private sector has a duty to play in its full part, making the eradication of unemployment a business problem, requiring business solution and earning business profits. I postulate that unemployment has to be treated as if it were a business by itself, where the unemployed workforce becomes the customer of the business. Each job created can provide not only employment for the individual and a skilled worker for the employer who hires him or her, but also an income for the job-creating company. 10 years ago, I thought that it was time to put the idea into practice and to start at the level of the individual, not the bureaucracy. In treating unemployment as if it were a business, I was encouraged by the fact that this approach had already succeeded in healthcare and other industries where the achievements of commercially run hospitals had proved that business methods could achieve social goals. We set up a job-creating company to facilitate the creation of jobs through the micro-alignment of the needs of industry and the economy with the needs of the labor market participants, the men and women seeking work. It is the micro-alignment that makes a difference. It is the last mile in the job creation process, creating one local job at a time. That is what micro-alignment is all about. Governments, by contrast, mostly do macro-alignment. That is why they often fail to create enough jobs. They can get everything right except the final part, the delivery at the local level of the local jobs that local business needs. That is the theory. Now, how has our business of unemployment worked in particular? In our first year, in 2003, we started BRJ, Bab Rizq Jameel, modestly, with just 2 job-creating officers, myself and the director of my office, and a couple of $100,000. Our target was to encourage and train 10, just 10, unemployed Saudi Arabians to become taxi drivers. We lent them the money to acquire a taxi each. Soft loans, but not loss-making ones. All were fully repaid. When this modest experience worked well, it sparked interest from both companies short of trained labor and individuals without jobs. So we said, let's expand the service. We had no grand plans. We simply grew organically, as a business does. And now, tonight, I would like to say that I am not representing only myself by accepting this award. In fact, I'm representing a team of more than 700 full-time job creators, working from more than 36 Bab Rizq Jameel branches in the Arab world and Turkey.